This chart shows the global console market share as of May 2026. On the left, Sony's PlayStation 5 commands 72.6% of the market, with 92.3 million units sold. On the right, Microsoft's Xbox Series hardware sits at just 27.4%, moving 34.7 million units. By the historical metrics of the video game industry, a 57 million unit gap signals a definitive total victory for Sony. But a macroeconomic shock has interrupted that traditional narrative. The explosive growth of artificial intelligence has triggered severe memory and storage shortages, drastically driving up component costs across the tech sector. When you combine those hardware manufacturing spikes with the ballooning development budgets of AAA games, the math no longer works. The profit margins that sustained platform holders for decades have evaporated. The strategy of selling loss-leader plastic boxes to capture an isolated market is over. We are now watching a very different economic battle for corporate survival. Sony's response to this pressure is a strict prestige software strategy. Internal mandates require major studios to target a minimum Metacritic score of 90, generating the critical acclaim necessary to command premium retail prices. The financial yields from this approach are massive. The Norse saga of God of War generated over $1.4 billion, while Marvel's Spider-Man 2 sold more than 16 million copies on the PS5 alone. That high-margin success extends beyond their own hardware. Helldivers 2 pushed past 20 million units sold, proving that Sony's premium releases can extract significant capital from PC storefronts. Yet, sitting beneath these blockbusters is a substantial vulnerability. Sony as a corporation is currently carrying over $31 billion in total debt. This chart illustrates the tension. PlayStation Plus subscribers remain stagnant at 50 million, while revenue climbs. To service debt, Sony prioritizes profitability, extracting profit from its existing audience by continually pushing the premium subscription tier to $19.99 a month. The prestige model consistently delivers blockbuster revenue. However, it also locks Sony into a cycle of aggressive price hikes on a captive audience to offset that broader corporate debt. Microsoft took the opposite approach, building a subscription-first ecosystem. They relied on their $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard to act as the primary growth engine for Xbox Game Pass. By late 2025, that model buckled. Microsoft implemented a 50% price hike for the service, which immediately triggered a mass exodus of subscribers. This bar chart displays the fallout. Microsoft had projected 77 million Game Pass subscribers for 2026. Instead, the actual user base dropped to just 30 million. The collateral damage extended to retail. Without software exclusivity driving hardware adoption, Xbox hardware revenue sank by 46.6% year-over-year. In February 2026, Microsoft appointed Asha Sharma as the new CEO of Xbox, giving her a clear mandate to execute a corporate turnaround. Her first 100 days were severe. Sharma initiated the elimination of 3,200 jobs across Xbox's internal studios to reduce overhead. She immediately canceled the "This is an Xbox" marketing campaign, which had frustrated internal teams and confused consumers regarding the brand's hardware identity. She then reversed the previous administration's pricing strategy. By dropping the cost of Game Pass Ultimate, she managed to halt the subscriber bleed and stabilize the user base. Microsoft's all-you-can-eat subscription model simply couldn't sustain its own costs. It required the most extreme leadership reset in the entirety of Xbox history, just to keep the platform operational. Moving forward, Microsoft is directing its R&D toward a new initiative known as Project Helix. This is their gamble to outmaneuver the AI-driven component shortage and rebuild their hardware identity. The concept is a hybrid PC console. By bringing open PC storefronts into the living room, Microsoft aims to bypass the restrictive manufacturing economics of a standard closed system console. Contrast this frantic, high-budget maneuvering with Nintendo. They have maintained quiet, hyper-profitable dominance by ignoring the bleeding edge of tech and focusing entirely on their closed Switch ecosystem. What we are watching in 2026 is an industry-wide abandonment of the loss leader model. Selling hardware at a deficit just to build an isolated install ace is no longer financially viable. As component costs continue to rise and software budgets swell, the consumer is left footing the bill. The question now is which platform will actually survive this transition to $100 digital editions and premium hybrid hardware?